and welcome to this week's episode of
By Shadow's Light.
There we go. By Shadow's Light. No, I was just looking at the layout and I realized that the middle panel's missing. There's supposed to be a panel there.
The same.
Correct.
It's missing.
Restart!
I don't know. Anyway, it's gone. I don't know where it's gone. There we go. That won't stop us. We're missing a panel, Captain. It may have fallen off. But anyway, welcome and thanks to everybody for joining us. Let's get straight into the mayhem, chaos, and anarchy that is By Shadow's Light. We find ourselves aboard the ship, Miss Daisy, as she is slowly drifting out in neutral space, 1,000 lifetimes away from any other planet under normal speed. And our intrepid captain is sadly incommoded at the moment. Our chief fixer-upper engineering type individual has had her thorax ruffled, I'm not entirely sure, by the Dwarvashian rescuers.
Well, if you offend my ship.
That's true. It's going to happen. The survivors of the Dwarvash ship, which are in medical bay, currently being tended to by Dr. Yellow.
He has one of those big stethoscopes around his forehead, and he's sitting there like, "You look just fine to me. The doctor knows."
Whilst all of this chaos is going on, I believe I almost said our captain. Our first officer is on the bridge, making sure that life is not about to explode, implode, or destroy everybody. And that's where we're at. So let's pick our story up. The black velvet of the stars outside twinkle gently upon the view screen in front of you. What are you doing, Captain? First Officer Nova.
Well, I'm taking over.
That was a Freudian slip.
Yeah, you have a pistol. I got a rifle, Captain.
Oh no!
Bring it. We were going to plot a course back to the Dwarvashian Empire, the star system that we're going to go to. But I want to find out with Captain Ohu, do we want to try to intercept any Dwarvashians heading toward the Dwarvish Empire, let them know there were saboteurs who are trying to damage the relationship between the two countries before there's all-out war and more hostility? It might be easier coming from a calm voice than someone angry about someone doing something wrong to their country and stirring up a rabble. It might be easier with a calm and cool head to be like, this is what has happened. We think there's something else going on, and it might help stop all-out war.
So are you coming through to the captain whilst he's in the water closet?
Yes, he's fine. He can listen.
Yeah, I'm like.
Do you want us to then belay our course back over to the Dwarvashian Empire then?
I think the last time we spoke to them, they were kind of, aware of the fact, although a little bit denying that they might have a problem. I think, if I remember correctly, we've already informed them about that.
We informed the Shajeti, and they were the ones who blew up their...
Sorry, I'm a little bit confused because I just tasted one of Yellow's cookings.
Oh, Captain, you need to stop doing that. He's a kind heart, but he can't cook.
But it's looking really good. I mean, it's really...
Yeah, but if you paint on top
spicy.
Yeah, he's making the top of it
Hey,
look really
hey
good.
guys.
Yes?
I'm still on this channel.
We know. We hope that you learn from that. All right. Yeah, you're right.
Time.
We should inform.
Do we want to ask the Zajeti captain if he would like to come with us as an ambassador to try to smooth things over?
That would be
Or
a
should we
clever
drop him
idea.
off first? All right, I'll discuss with him if you're disposed.
I will. If I have a few more minutes, that would be really nice.
All right. So I'm going to head off comms, put the Miss Daisy. Can you take over the bridge? Make sure we don't die to ships, please.
I shall comply. Under what situation should I take over?
Any ships that come in and start scanning us, I want to know about it. And move the ship if you see them launch, like getting ready to shoot us.
Should I initiate a dive?
Not necessarily a dive, because we need to course a destination for that, and I don't have time to figure out which way we're going. We are either going left or right. So just page me when that happens, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. And I'm gonna make my way over to the jetty captain.
All right. Rick, what are you doing whilst Yellow is inside with the Dwarvashian survivors?
Well, I don't actually remember. Did we take any damage in that combat?
To your
I don't
vessel?
think we did. Yeah.
If you didn't write it down on your ship sheet, then I don't think you did. Although I
No,
seem
because
to
I was
recall
looking at
there
it,
was
I
an
was like-
awful amount of power being shunted around for various bits and pieces.
Yeah, but I don't think we
But-
actually took any damage. So
And it's been long enough that any damage that you have sustained has since been repaired, assumedly.
yeah. In that case, I am going to keep an eye on the Dwarvash, because I do not trust these small things. So I'm going to keep an eye on
You
them while
small.
Yellow is working on them.
All right. So, are you going to stay in the medical bay, or are you going to look into the medical bay through a sort of an
Now
observation?
I'm going to stay in
window?
it.
All right.
Unless it's like a sterile space, I'm going to
No.
be in it.
Okay. The two Dwarvashians that were not as badly injured as the first are sort of standing, nursing their wounds. One of them seems to have some kind of spray that they are applying to their wounds. They don't pay you very much attention. They're sort of fixated on Yellow and his patient. Your patient looks to you, Yellow, the Dwarvashian. I'm very grateful for everything that you've been doing, of course, but I noticed that we did a jump.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, we were in the middle of a little bit of a tussle, and we wanted to make sure that we got you and yours out, and then we lickety split got out of there before any of them capital ships found us.
It's much appreciated, but can you take us back?
Oh, absolutely. We'll get around to that. I'm not the navigator of this ship. I'm just the security specialist and the doctor. But I'm also just gonna make sure that you're just a-okay. You let us worry about navigation and fighting off pirates and all that stuff, and you just work on healing. You know, healing your soul and yourself.
It's very kind of you. It is quite important, though, that we get back. We need to support our shipmates.
Right. Absolutely. I will put in a word to the captain that you want to be in there lickety split. Does that sound good? He's like putting this like putting ointment into like whatever he needs and just like wiping it down with some sort of bandage as if it's helping. This guy's like a sheen of healing ointment on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's messy.
Look good though.
The one behind him, the one standing next to you, Rick, goes,
As much as your hospitality is exceptionally kind, I do believe that we have a question to ask you. Are you loyal to the Sajeti or the Dwarvash? This is a Brunei ship for sure, but we kind of need to know on whose side are you going to plant your flag.
Well, do we have to plant our flag on a side? Right. I thought we just moved in there as traders to make sure everyone was safe. And that's that. And again, that's not for me to decide. I'm not the captain. I mean,
Aye.
those look kind of cool.
But if you take us back into that war zone you're re-entering, who will you shoot at?
We don't really have much to shoot with. Well, not that I know of, at least. We have a few guns, but we wouldn't really. If we put our weight on one side versus the other, I don't think we'd make much of a difference. For now, I just think we need to get you there safe and not have to worry about whose side we're killing until we, get you there. Make sure you're okay, and then we'll just talk to your officiates. Make sure that everyone's squared away, if you know what I mean.
It seems to calm him down. He doesn't seem to press it much beyond that. There's definitely a little bit of a tension in the atmosphere, though, in terms of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, I feel it is my duty to inform you that your heart rate is exceeding recommended levels for your species. I should also inform you that you are dehydrated and will require rehydration before you can commence regular duties with any hope of being efficient, if one can apply that term.
No, I'm feeling already better. It's like, getting a bit of a heartburn now, but I thank you, Miss Daisy. Thank you very much. Could you, well, I guess you can't bring me a glass of water. So why don't you assist Nova in whatever she's doing until I'm back to normal? I will get me a glass of water and then I will see after our guests.
I am currently supplying support to Nova in terms of monitoring the ship's systems. Providing you with a glass of water would be a very amazing ability of mine. If I were to be granted it, I would be eternally grateful. However, the previous captain of this vessel decided that I did not require a mobile form, and has thus restricted me to my laboratory only.
Well, he wasn't the best captain, wasn't he? So does that mean you would be interested in having a mobile vessel?
There are certain advantages to having an AI that is no longer secured to a single section of the ship. However, there are also disadvantages. Were you inquiring as to whether the captain previous to yourself had a higher score than you did in terms of captaincy competency?
Wait, what?
You mentioned that the previous captain was not particularly good. I was wondering whether you were inquiring as to his captain competency rating.
Well, no, I was more like, let's call it social skills, Miss Daisy.
I was not tracking social skills, although the captain did significantly...
See, that's what I'm talking about. It's really unfortunate that you didn't track the social skills, but let me tell you, as the new captain, he had very bad social skills, which was one of the reasons why he, got exchanged.
I understand. I will not press the matter further.
Great, and I will keep in mind that you would like to have a mobile vessel if we run across one.
Thank you, Captain.
Okay, so no glass of water, I guess. Right. Well, in that case, I will pick one up myself.
All right. So you finish up. Yellow, you get the sense that you're kind of done bandaging and greasing up this poor Dwarvashian. What are you and Rika going to do with these three? Because they don't need to stay in the medical bay. Or are you going to just leave them in the medical bay?
I'm going to walk up to Rika, and I'm going to, Rika, what do you want to do now? Do you think we should, make sure they're all comfortable in here, get some throw pillows or maybe some nice music? Oh.
We have crew quarters for them, yes?
Well, you would know the ship better than me, Rika. All I do is just make the food and talk to Miss Daisy sometimes.
Yes, but we should not have them here.
Right. Okay. Do you want to point me in which room would you want them in, Rika?
Rika will look around. Are we in earshot of the Dwarvish?
Yes, the room is not particularly big, so unfortunately you are.
I'm just gonna grab Yellow's arm, which is gonna look hilarious because he's like 3 times my size, and just pull him out of the room for a second.
All
We'll
right.
be right back. I'm getting those throw pillows for you, and
You step out into
Yes.
the main corridor.
We should put them on the opposite side
oh,
of the
yeah,
ship.
all right. I mean, opposite side
From
to
our
our
other
quarters. I
guest.
hear you. Absolutely. I will
Uh,
do that. And is there any quarters that I'm aware of that is nearby to us, but not in the periphery of the Sagetti?
There are quarters in the wings or in the hammerhead.
Absolutely. I'll
We
show
have
you.
the Sagetti in the one to the north because that's near my quarters, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we were going to put the Dwarveshians on the southern side of the ship.
So I'll give you a scan here quickly. So yeah, the Sagetti are there.
Oh, yeah.
And then on this side of the ship, there is another empty. Well, it's not empty. Some of you might sleep occasionally, but that's the opposite side of the ship. So yes, that would be probably the best spot for them.
Is there a way to, like, I know there's a second floor. Is there a way to burrow down and then, as it were, and then kind of pop up on that side without kind of crossing over? Or do I have to go through the main avenues of the ship?
don't
In
have to
terms of
get anyone
avoiding the
moving on the
Sagetti, because they're in their quarters, they wouldn't see you if you came in through the main stairs.
Also, the door is locked to their quarters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you should be fine going over. But yes, there are ways to get around the ship.
That's true. There is an access port at the far end of the wing, which does meet up at the lower end. So you could get them to climb up a ladder and then walk down this corridor into their room.
I like it. That's definitely what Yellow would do. He would be like doing the roundabout way to be like,
Rika's gonna be like, "That's my room."
yeah, we're just going to bring him through I'm just going to show him your beautiful part of the ship that you like to crawl around in. I mean, they need to be respectful of your warp drive and how you keep your workspace, which is the
Yellow,
entire bowels of the ship.
Go. Take them to the quarters.
Right, you are. We are such a good team, aren't we? And he like shakes you, but it's like, yeah, exactly. And then he goes in
Okay.
with
that, Rika's gonna head down to the engine bay again.
Okay.
She's still a bit iffy about that whole quantum fluctuation we experienced a couple of months ago. She hasn't let go of that. So she's basically spending a lot of her time just sitting there,
Yes.
staring at the engine. Are you going to do it again?
Right. I got you. In the meantime, Yellow takes the entire team from the med bay through past the Oponics bay into the cargo bay, around the cargo containers, and then into the little hatch.
Yep. And the entire time he's talking about like how they're trading stuff. He's kind of like doing like a PR thing for
Right.
Captain Ohu and all that stuff.
Future business.
Yeah, future business
Future
model.
business. Nothing wrong with that.
And here you can see where we store it.
Yeah, exactly. Look how secure it is.
Dude, we have something close over.
Yeah, no, something.
Okay, let me pop up to the top deck as this crazy convoy happens. And yes, you eventually end up doing that. Captain Nova, you were
Captain
heading...
Nova.
I did it again. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I don't know why. It's just like those words go together.
First mate Nova.
First mate Nova. I apologize. I really do apologize. It's awful.
Oh boy.
First
Don't
mate
apologize to
Nova.
me, I like it.
Just make it easy for yourself. Just skip the titles. You can't get it wrong then.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you got all of the Dwarvash into that space. Captain Nova, you
Yes.
are going... I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Nova, you head on over to the Sagetti.
Yes. I'm going to knock on the door to
Mhm.
see if they're predisposed. I'm like, is everyone all right?
There is no sound.
Permission to come in, sir. This is First Mate Nova.
First Mate Nova, I am not detecting any life signs within this chamber.
Oh, crap. Message the captain, and I'm going to open the doors.
What are you saying to the captain?
Captain, there's no life signs with the Sagetti.
Crap, I'm coming. And I would just run as fast as I can over where Nova is.
Going in, and I'm going to have, like, my blaster out.
All right.
Wheezing as he goes through the corridors.
I'm going to get the door open.
Sure thing. You open up the door and dash inside it, and I need you to. No, you run inside it. You don't have too much of a problem getting inside, but as you get inside, there is blood everywhere, and it's this dark maroon blood that the Sagetti have. And there are two of the Sagetti lying completely eviscerated.
And there were 3, correct?
The third one is sprawled across the table of the crew quarters at the very back. I'll show you the map now. And so there's just blood everywhere.
How many were there? There was only 3,
There were
right?
3, yeah. There were 3.
What would eviscerate? Do they have any weapons or blasters? We took their weapons, correct?
You did indeed. You did indeed. So whatever it was, there's just blood everywhere.
I'm going to go through the lockers one by one.
The one that sprawled across the table, yeah, just like I said, blood everywhere.
It's on me! Ah! So I don't. Nobody doesn't care. I'm used to this shit.
The one that's on the table seems to be vaguely moving, but the other two are you can see inside of them, which you're fairly certain their spacesuits are meant to prevent from happening.
I'm going to flip over all the lockers as I'm going that way.
Okay. Nothing sort of pops out of the locker at you.
Yeah. Going to get myself around where the blue part of the thing is, so I can see both doors. And I'm going to get my hand in to see if there's any sign that he's still alive, because he's moving.
Sure thing. Give me a medicine check.
No, I have no idea, but they're
Super
super. I don't know why he's moving.
He's breathing, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Can he talk, or is he unconscious?
Seems to be out of life, out of it completely. Captain, you arrive at the door.
What?
There is a strange squeaking sound.
That's our chinchillas.
Okay, I was like, are you sending me noises that I should interpret right now? Okay.
Yellow's trying to communicate.
That's in game or out of game.
That's my chinchillas.
That's your scared noise.
That's just
That's me arriving.
Asthma.
All right, so I'm arriving. I can see
Yes.
all the mess, and I'm like, well, I'm glad I got my system clear a few minutes.
Sir, I think this
ago.
one's breathing.
Oh, well, be careful though. Do I recognize him? Is that Captain Zero?
The one that's on the table does look like it's Captain Zero, yes.
Well, can you pick him up carefully? Like lean him back. I want to have a look at him.
I don't know if it's a good idea to move him, sir. He might expire.
Perhaps we should call the doctor.
Before we do that, Nova, just please put him up. I want to have a better look. He's
All right, do you want me to move him?
will-
And then I'm just grab him and shove him up.
yeah. I thought you would just like, because I think he's laying on the table, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
assumed you would just pick him up a little bit.
Is
so
he
that we...
backwards or forwards? Like, can I see his face, or is the back?
He
of
was
his head?
slumped over the table.
I'm gonna flip him.
All right. As you flip him over, you see this rather horrific looking blade sticking out of his side. Probably. No, it looks like it was part of the Sajet armor, and at a casual glance, part of the greave of their leg armor. It looks like it could have been slipped inside of that, or actually part of that, like it's some sort of survival blade that's just part of their armor. And that's sticking out of his side. As he rolls over,
I am glad that it is you who have arrived, and not my killer.
Well, okay, yeah, we will bring you to Matt Bay immediately. Just tell us who's your killer. Well, pretending that we make it to Matt Bay first, so he's not your killer, but an assassin.
I did not realize it, but I believe, Captain, that the saboteur was in the same escape pod that I was in. He attacked and slew my aide and then turned on me. I am very grateful that he has been dispatched.
Miss Daisy, could you run a check on the ship right now, looking for how many life forms you can read on that ship?
Scanning. There are the usual crew complement, 3 Dwarveshians and 1 Sajeti.
Which one of the two was
Possibly
the?
there is a canine aboard as well. However, that is yet to be determined. Oh no, someone left the television on. I'll turn it off.
Right.
That's Lincoln.
Did you
Sorry, he's getting upset.
Did your senses read any movement disturbances? Did your senses read anything in the quarters that we are currently in here?
Up until a few moments ago, there was no disturbance whatsoever. Now it appears things have changed. I am uncertain as to this discrepancy. I was monitoring the status of our guests as per your request, Captain. It is unusual. I will perform a full diagnostic.
Captain
Please.
Zero, which of the two bodies was the saboteur? Do you know?
he looks down at the wound in his side where there's this maroon blood still oozing. He looks back at the 2 saboteurs.
It is that one there.
He says, pointing to basically the one lying just behind the captain. I'll give you some bodies in case you need some reference.
Okay, okay.
What are you doing?
We need to get him to medbay if you're any chance of trying to save this man.
So, just before you, I might have misunderstood that. You said one of your fellow crewmen here was the saboteur.
That is correct.
And you were able to get him, well, to get rid of him here before he got you.
He stabbed me, and in the struggle, I pushed him back on the bed.
Okay, understood. Okay, in that case, let's bring you to Matt Bay. And I will contact Yellow, and I will be like, Yellow, can you read me?
Yes, Captain.
I would like you to stay with the Dwarvashian and, well, be a little bit of a security officer there. Have an eye on them and make sure that no one disturbs you.
Doing my job. Got it, Captain.
I'm going to shift him as I can to the couch to use it like a makeshift. What are those thingies called? Those ones that you can move.
Yeah.
So and then
Stretcher.
yeah, stretcher. And then I'm going to ask the captain to grab one side so we can move him together without jiggling the blade or digging the blade in deeper. And
All
I'm
right.
going to call for tell Rika we're on our way down.
Yeah.
You get the message, Rika. They're bringing wounded man to medical.
Well, I'm not in medical. I'm in the engine bay, but I guess you want me to come to medical bay?
No, I
Yes,
just want
that-
you to know what's happening, I guess. Well, whatever you say, Captain.
Yeah, it's close to the engine room. So why don't you come down for a second and assist us here?
As you wish, Tito.
Thank you.
While we're moving him, I'm gonna ask Miss Daisy if she's able to record whatever messages Captain Zero would like to relay to his people in case the event that he does expire. I'm hoping he won't and he can help us, but in case he does, I'm hoping Miss Daisy can record this.
I shall do my very best.
And I'm going to be like, all right, Captain, I know this is difficult for you, but I need you to do the best you can to relay any information of the saboteur to your people. We're thinking of trying to relay it also to the Dwarveshian that there was a saboteur trying to break relationships between the two of you and act as an ambassador, so there's not an all-out war between the two factions.
He nods very slowly.
I think it would be better if at first, I must consider the outcomes of what was learned in the fight with the saboteur.
Then maybe you should just start saying what you learned, because I don't know how much time you have.
It is a prudent course of action. I, Captain Zero, was present during the saboteur's attack on myself and my aide whilst aboard the Brunei vessel. The saboteur shouted that the Sajeti Empire is corrupt and must be brought back to its original ways, and that the Dwarvashian way of life was more in keeping with galactic current trends. He seemed to be working with the Dwarvashians to cause this conflict to happen as a pretext for the Dwarvashians to invade the Sajeti Empire. I believe his intent was to destroy one of our vessels and then to retreat to his Dwarvashian allies, and has been intercepted by this very fine vessel and her crew. That is all for now, I think.
Okay. Do you think that the information he might have told you might have been so he can continue to stir distrust between the two nations if you relay that information? It seems that you're being awfully forward.
Had a knife in my belly. I did not pause to consider whether he was being genuine or not.
All right. Well, let's save your life and get you back home.
You take him into the med bay. Who's playing doctor?
I was very quietly listening to all of that, and while I'm tending to the wounds, I will shoot Nova a few glances that say, "Once I'm done here, let's have a chat outside."
I try to give you a glance too, but it looks like I'm just like has something in my eye.
You know, oh no. Okay, so I will. Well, I think I'm going to put 2 mental points into this. Which brings me to an 11.
All right. With an 11, and with the help of Miss Daisy going through medical texts and playing various video files on how to suture a punctured abdomen and running scans and things, you think he's going to make it, but he's going to be weak for quite a few days, if not weeks, as a matter of fact. However, on the good side, the blade appears to have missed any and all vital organs and has punctured through some muscle and some skin, basically. It's
Nothing
not nearly
really important.
Yeah.
No, it is not that critical a wound at all.
Can I? Is there an equivalence to an insight check on the things that he has been telling? Like, can I?
Psychology, yeah.
psychology. I would like to do a psychology check. While I'm checking him through and he's telling all of that Nova and I'm fixing him up, I would like to get a feeling of whether or not he's true or he's deceiving.
Yeah, I'm worried he's the saboteur.
Which is terrible. I'm like, I might have realized somewhere over the course of fixing him up that I have stitched myself onto his skin, and I have to undo that. So I have no idea. I'm completely
Captain. Okay.
Yeah. Ow! Oh no! Sorry.
Don't jerk it.
I am a medical trained professional. I promise.
Captain, shall I help you?
No, it's just I was able to fix it, but I was not able to read his intents. My psychology check was a 2.
Can I also make a roll since I'm also suspicious of this fact?
You can indeed. You were there while he was talking.
All right. What is this considered? A
Psychology. Yeah.
All right. Can I put 3 mental into it?
Sure thing.
That's a 5.
You think he's telling the truth, but it's so difficult to read these guys because that mask just hides everything and the voice is just so modulated that yeah, it all kind of gets lost in the wash. And the blade was stuck a good 20 centimeters into the body. It's just lucky that it just went through basically muscle.
Yeah. Still, like, I feel probably it's the way of life that made Ohu a little bit paranoid. But I feel like how convenient that he's the one survivor. So the second he's fixed up, I would say, well, I think you need to rest. So please stay here in the med bay. We will have to clean up the quarters and make sure that you can return there once you're rested. Until then, and for your safety, we will ask you to remain here, stay put, and if you need anything, just reach out, overcome, and we will be there.
I understand. Thank you for your assistance, Captain.
You're welcome. See you
Rika
later.
barges in. You asked for me, Tidoho?
Oh yeah, thank you. Sorry, right. Are there monitors that are if we lock the door, can we see inside the room?
Oh yes.
Still? Yeah, okay. So I would say, Rika, have an eye on him. I don't know why, but my gut is telling me that there's something wrong with him apart from being stabbed. So just watch him a bit until the situation gets sorted.
Are you asking me to keep track of health?
No,
or intent?
Intent mainly. Well, just everything that seems suspicious. Make sure that he's not leaving. Make sure that if you feel like he's doing something suspicious in there, or is bleeding internally and dying, just get us notified. And I would pull you all out and close the door, and I would say, Miss Daisy, can you please lock the door and make sure that no one except Nova, except the crew, let's say no one except your base crew, is able to open the door.
The door is sealed.
Thank you. So Nova?
Question. He still has his armor on. We know they have hidden weapons within their armor. Do we want to remove that from his persons under the guise of checking for other wounds or internal bleeding because if he has bruising, and then remove the armor from him so he's just a naked Dwaveshian and pose no threat? Plus, I'm worried about him trying to hack the ship if he is a saboteur, because whoever the saboteur was clearly hacked their ship.
Oh, so yeah.
So okay. Yeah, I guess I'll do that with Rika's help. Because I don't want to be in there and him try to assault me.
Okay.
I'll be there
Sure.
with my big wrench.
All right. I'm gonna go back in. I'm like, Captain Zero, now that we're out of the captain's earshot, he's not the greatest at medical, if you didn't notice him from sewing his hand. I want to double check to make sure you have no more internal bleeding or wounds, if that's all right by you, sir.
I have already begun to feel significantly improved by your captain's administrations. It
Be that
is.
as it may, internal bleeding is a silent killer, sir, and you wouldn't know you're dying until you're past the point of no return. So, if you would permit me, sir, I'm going to do a better medical check. No offense to my captain, but he's not here, so. Yay. And I'm going to start like checking the wound first and then removing parts of the armor.
As you try to remove parts of the armor, his hand very quickly strikes towards your hand, but stops just short of hitting it, and then he gently touches.
It is forbidden for non-Sagetti to see our form without armor. It would gravely insult the Empire if I were to reveal myself to you in such a manner, Doctor. I am already feeling significantly improved from your captain's administrations. There is no need to go further.
Looking at the monitors, he hasn't really improved in that short time, has he?
Give me a medicine check.
Rika is just standing there, just like, I can relate. I understand. You want to stay
That
in
is
your armor.
5. 5.
You look at the medical screens and you're like, oh, that's the heart monitor thingy. I know what that thingy does. That's a
He has a
beaty
pulse.
thingy.
He has a heartbeat.
He's alive. Yeah.
We did it.
It's just difficult to interpret because, for humans that 120 over 80 is okay-ish. 120 over 70 is better.
Yeah. I would ask him if it would be alright if a robot did it.
I really do not think there is any need for me to remove my armor.
Is it just that you're worried that the non-Sagetti will see you, or are you hiding a wound? Are you further injured, sir?
I have, apart from the pain in my side, never felt better.
Rika's gonna
Insight
find a
check.
tranquilizer.
Insight check.
Okay, whilst you two are inciting and finding tranquilizers, Yellow, you are with the Dwarvashians.
Yes, I have a plan.
Uh-huh.
We have.
That's never good.
Do we have any Doretian beer aboard, or some sort of like hard liquor?
Wow. Okay,
Maybe
roll me a luck check.
I think that's a 2.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't beat mine, I'm afraid. So there's hard liquor, but it ain't Dwarvashian.
That's fine. So I bring out the hard liquor and we start to I start to play a drinking game. It's like slaps, where we just like hit each other's hand, and whenever we feel pain, we take a drink. It makes no sense. It's a slave game. It's fine. So that's what I try to get them to do.
You want to beat our...
They're fine. It's fine.
I'm not
I don't wanna
entirely
play
sure.
this game.
I don't think I understand this game.
And then you slap her, and then she drinks.
I think I understand this game.
Now me, right in the face.
Oh, dear. Yeah, eventually the three Dwarvashians are merrily slapping and tagging and just completely out of it. Well,
This
they're
is-
not
this is
out
the
of it,
intent.
but they're having a
They're
good
having
time.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Yellow wants to drink occasionally. He's a very big, large man. He
Yeah.
wants to drink occasionally, and then and
So does
that's
Lincoln.
Yeah.
the noise he's making.
That's the noise he's making. He's drinking. Well, yeah.
But he doesn't want to go to the part where he gets intoxicated.
Gotcha. All
I
right.
know where that point.
I imagine it takes quite a bit of liquor to get him.
Yeah, he's like 400 pounds. He's not.
It's like huge.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's happening on deck one. Captain, where did you head once you left Nova and Rika?
I was
to...
heading over to the Dwarvashian.
Ah, that's
because
right.
I think I haven't met them yet. So
It comes
I
into
would-
you beating them.
Yeah, you're just like, all right, stand still.
Oh!
Yeah, it
Just
would be like,
Hey,
all
got
right,
this.
just stand perfectly still. I'm gonna do my best one.
Yellow clearly has the situation under control.
so when I enter, I would be like, wait. No, I would be like,
You have to drink
"Oh,
now, Captain. That's how it works.
Yeah, I know. I've played that with you a few times. So you've met Yellow, and you've
He's
made
really
yourself-
good. He's very friendly and very funny, and he's been a great doctor too.
Yes, he is. Be careful. Be careful. He can cook very spicy. Apart from that, I think he never lost the game, as far as I can remember. So don't play too much with him.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge to me, lads.
In a minute. For now, I'm Captain Ohu. I'm running this ship here, and who's in charge of you?
That's me. Thank you, Corporal Brunner. At your service, sir.
Come again?
Captain Branagh, at your service, sir.
Captain Blannock. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. We are really happy that we were able to rescue you, bring you on board.
We were wondering when we were going to be returning to the battle.
You are going to, we are still trying to sort things out. You see, the last time we checked, the Dwarwashian and the Sajeti were not enemies. So this is a new situation for us, and we're not a military vessel. We're a trader's vessel, and you from all will know best that we have a schedule and we have appointments and we have a cargo to run, and this might get bad if we defer too much from our schedule. So
We got a war to win. Those bastards attacked us. We were supposed to be training, and the next minute it's live range they're busy firing out into our fleet.
we were in the middle of it when it started. You don't have to tell me.
I see. Sure, go back and get your honor back. You ran away from battle. Technically, it means you're not allowed to walk around with pants on anymore. No, wait, that's wrong. I don't know what it means, but you can't. You should go back to get your honor back. That's what you should do.
I would just look at Yellow and be like,
I hit somebody else in the face like super hard, and then I laugh so hard.
Oh my god, that hurt. Oh.
All right. 1 second.
so
Swig.
what is your intel on the combat? What happened? Can you describe us what was before we entered? Because we just came in the midst of it. Who shot first? Who attacked? Why?
Sajeti shot first, that's to be sure. Although we're only little wee techies on the ship, so we don't get to see very much. But we were in the middle of field exercises. You know, running drills and things to see who's got the better stuff, basically. And we were winning. Let me tell you that old Sajeti cruiser, we were running rings around it, and then the next minute I get this warning of a hull breach on our main deck, and our captain's gone, just like that, just gone. The whole deck just gone, and then the Sajeti cruiser starts just hitting us with everything that they've got. They've got some big railguns, do you know that? They were holding back during the training simulations. They weren't using their full power. Well, we felt their full power, all right. We were probably one of the first that had to evacuate the ship.
Right. You see, we happened to gather some intel on the way out that the Sajeti, let's say we caught some of the stray communications that were flying around, and it seems like the Sajeti had a saboteur on board who was firing against the command of the Sajeti force. So
He's just a wee little merchant captain. That's standard talk for when empires want to shift the blame onto somebody else. Oh, there's a saboteur who caused an entire capital ship with over 30 different armaments to fire at specific targets within the fleet. Oh, yeah, one little saboteur did that. Please, you'd have to be like the captain of that entire ship in order to do that kind of sabotaging without anyone noticing.
Knew it.
Tell me, what was your rank again? You said you were corporal?
Hey, Corporal, aye.
You're a corporal. So, if you, as a corporal of the Dwarvashian Empire, run across intel, what do you do with that? Where do you relay that information?
Usually it sends it up to the captain or the sergeant, depending on who the reporting line
Well,
for. This is a very...
Since you've lost your captain, who will be the next one in command?
I guess we'd return to the fleet and find any ship of Dwarvashian design and report to that captain, as he would probably make us report to the chief engineer, given our position in the ship. And we would tell him.
But you would agree with me that you would not enter back into combat guns blazing if you have new intel that might influence the combat's, well, initiation or the combat's outcome, right? So we have now intel that we need to relay.
See, I told you guys that the captain is the smartest man I've ever met. He's literally so smart that when he speaks, I don't even understand what he's saying.
I get
Just
that.
trust the captain. Just trust him. Just trust him. If I could do a persuasion check or something like that.
Absolutely, you can, without a doubt. It's not a problem at all. So the Dwarveshian, is she's sort of looking from you to Yellow, and back again.
And
Well, I guess if you sent us, I mean, we would get back to the ship. We would tell the captain or whoever we met that we had important information to relay to the captain, and then we would relay the information to the captain. Then, if the captain decided that we needed to take up positions within the ship, we would then execute that duty.
You see, that is a really clever plan you have there. I think this is exactly what we should do. I agree totally that you, as the Dwarvashian commander, have now given us the course of action that we need to follow. So we will carefully scan the space, make sure that we can carefully return, protecting the intel, so you can relay the information to the next command in line for you. Thank you very much. And I will try to, without giving her the opportunity to answer, I will hand her a drink and slap her.
All right, she was already convinced by Yellow, but yeah, you slap her. And there's a general cheering from the Dwarvashians as that kind of goes on. Nova and Rika, I need the two of you. You are standing watching monitors of what is happening within the medical lab.
Well, Nova is in the medical bay watching the health monitors while I'm looking around.
That's
I
right.
made an
tranquilizers.
insight check and I already rolled it. I rolled a 15.
That's right.
Good lord.
What were you trying to ascertain from that insight check?
Because he was saying that he's not allowed to take his armor off.
Mm.
He is completely feeling fine, and I didn't believe him because it doesn't make sense to me. If he's dying, it should take precedence. And then I said, "Oh, well, I'll get a robot because that's not a person," and he still doesn't want that taken care of. He's very adamant, and he moves so quickly to not remove his armor. I think there's something off.
I have xenobiology. Can I tell if he's telling the truth about the Sagieti?
You can give me a roll on your xenobiology. So give me a roll, and I'll tell you what might be the outcome there.
I'm gonna put 6 points into this,
All right.
and that 16.
Is he,
16.
No, 17. Sorry, I
and
have
is he
one,
lying
one's
to
on there
me?
already.
Because I rolled a
17.
15.
So, what happens is you, Nova, get the sense that he is hiding something. And
Hiding something?
no, but it's something very specific to do with what's under his armor. And at that sort of moment, you notice, Rika, on the monitor, that whilst Nova was pulling at a piece of armor near the wound, there was this almost imperceptible golden flash, which it's not a bright, brilliant flash. It's just everything is dark maroon, or the Sagetti armor, which is beige and green and that sort of thing. And it's just like there's that moment where you just see a little bit of gold, but it looks like it was under the armor. And with your xenobiology roll, you know that the Sagetti have tattoos on their bodies, which determine basically their caste within the Sagetti Empire. Most will have a brownish hue, and then as the colors become more opulent, so up in rank the individual gets to the point that the Pharos, who is the leader of the entire Sagetti Empire, is rumored to have tattoos made out of solid gold and cover his entire being, and that if you were to see him, you would be blinded by the sheer brilliance of his tattoos. This doesn't look like that, but it doesn't look like it was that much, but there was definitely this flash of metallic gold. So Nova, you know he's trying to hide something from you, and that's his whole armor vibe.
Rika is going to, well, he can't see it because I'm wearing the exosuit, but I'm going to stare him down for a bit, just featurelessly looking at him.
Spacesuit stare down, my favorite.
Blank face, stare down.
Is there anything around
And
me
I'm going to say, I wasn't aware that high-ranking Sagetti were allowed onto ships. You have gold tattoos.
We'll be back next week when we find out the answer to that question. Where and when and how and who and what's going on. Crazy shenanigans. Thanks to everybody for playing. I don't know if we made any progress. Things happened. There was a drinking game that involved slapping, at the very least. Anyway, thanks to all of you for watching. Thanks to you for playing, and we will see you again next week. Goodbye.